Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Streggy, and today I have another review for you that came out in 2017. You can find it at your local Walmart, and it is produced by David Sterling. Also, um, Girls and Corpses, as well as Tomcat Films, and it was released and distributed by Wild Eye Releasing, which I actually think they sat on this for a couple of years because Sean C. Phillips shows up here as uh, a small cameo, and he he definitely does not look like that now in this present day. So I think that this film was sat upon, but this is a wild and wacky adventure, and I thought that the film was hilarious. I mean, sometimes the films that David Sterling produces um, have some dragging moments, and it's not that it's necessarily a bad thing, but um, this one was relatively action filled, and um, it had sex, it had weirdness. I mean, it starts out on a spaceship called Titan 1C, and it's New Year's Eve, and one of the characters on the ship, by the name of Kenny, played by William Gabriel Greer. Um, Evidently, his character had a father who has a pharmaceutical company, and he had a drug created called Bliss that evidently was once you took it, you felt all kinds of sexual sensations. And Captain McBride, we see him with a pair of strippers as the New Year's Eve party goes down. And while all this is happening, um, a meteor shower is headed their way, one that was not predicted, and ended up hitting the ship and released these spore-like substances that were inside rocks upon the ship. And some of the party, meaning Lana Vickers, the first mate, Dirk, Terry, Kenny, and Diamond, an empath on the ship, ended up being in a life pod and escaped to a planet somewhere nearby. And what happens is these spore-like aliens end up taking on human hosts and turning them into sexual beings. And there ends up being a subplot where they want to populate and copulate to a larger scale and, take over the human race. And Solana Vickers takes charge of their little party. Dirk is kind of in love with Diamond, and Diamond can feel anything that she can. She Whenever she's with anyone, she can feel anything doubly. And Diamond is played by Jennifer Miller, short for Die, and we also have Terry, who's played by Kelly Aaron Decker, who has been dating Kenny for a year, but they've never had sex or anything like that. So when Kenny gets attacked by one of their dead passengers, she ends up taking one of the bliss pills. Terry does, and she ends up somewhat being sexually attacked by the alien turned Kenny, and it's kind of hilarious how everything plays out. I mean, there's a. I like that there is a usage of CGI along with, I believe, uh, uh, um, creature effects as well as, um, you know, man in a suit alien where they actually suit a couple of the characters up in alien suits, and you can tell some of it is CGI, some of it is actually, rubberized creatures or whatnot, or whatever they're made out of. But um, I like the blend, and I like the comedy that is involved with this film. It would I like that Lana, played by Tasha Takosa, um, and and she played a pretty straightforward character all the way up to the end. And I like that there were some lines and some sexual endos that were carried throughout the film, and they played out nicely. I was relatively impressed with this, and I can definitely see that uh, um, Jeff Leroy had some humor in his dialogue. So, in any case, hopefully you like the description of this film. I liked that the fact it was like part predator, part um, invasion of the body snatchers. In fact, there's a line in here that is comical, and it's like invasion of the booty snatchers. And that was one of my favorite lines in the film. So, in any case, I liked the look of the planet. Even though I know it was CGI'd or green screened. In fact, the ship was green screened, um, and much of the ship was CGI'd. Um, but yeah, I actually thought the CGI looked relatively decent in here for a change. And I thought that this was a decent B flick for what is put out there these days. And I've been relatively impressed with Jeff Leroy's productions before. He has done Creepies. He's done Rat Scratch Fever, which is evidently one of his more popular films. So definitely check this film out. It is worth a one-time watch. So definitely like and subscribe to my page if you have not, and see the film for yourself. And let me know down in the comments if you have watched this film. It was definitely um, worth a couple of laughs, and it'll be up there on my films to watch again sometime soon. So, in any case, thank you for listening.